Okay, so we're going to be going over your sample quiz 4.8 from last week. So anyway, I just wanted you to be sure and have the answers to it. I did have to work them out on paper today because I can't get my printer to print out, so I apologize for that. But anyway, first of all, let's start off with number one. So you have your sample quiz 4.8 on prism volume. So number one is the volume of a rectangular prism that has the dimensions of 8 centimeters times 5 centimeters times 3 centimeters. And basically this one's simple. You just got to multiply the 3 together and you get 120 centimeters cubed, which would be letter B. Now, let's move on to number two. Number two wasn't quite that simple. That one said to find the volume of a triangular prism given the measures of the diagram. So this one they just jumped in and they gave us a triangular prism, but if you'll notice, it's divided into two right triangles. So what we have to do is find both of the bases and then get the area for this part and get the area for this part. So we're gonna start off with this top part first. And so I worked that one out here. So what I did is I just kind of redrew it and I said, okay, this is gonna be X and this will be Y. So we know the height was 48 and this side was 60. So first we're gonna find X by using the Pythagorean theorem. Now here we have the hypotenuse. I know it's hypotenuse because it is the longest side. It's also the side opposite the right angle. So I just said 60 squared minus 48 squared is equal to 1096, and then you take the square root of that, and X is equal to 36. So then we know now that this side here is going to be 36. Sorry, that's not too good of a 6. But then we could just simply find this one just simply by saying 50, because we know from here to here is 50, therefore this is 50 minus 36 is 14. And then lastly, I just applied well, we know that that's 14 here. So then the next thing I did is I found the areas of each. So the first one, we know that, let me finish writing this in. Okay, so I found the area of this one by saying 48 times 36 divided by 2. And I got 864 centimeters squared. And then we found this half, the area of this half, by saying 48 times 14 divided by 2. And I got this one 336. So then our next step is we had to take those and add them together. So the area of our entire triangle up here is 1200 because we had to take both those areas and add them together. Now, to find the volume of a rectangular prism, it is base times height. Okay, and it is the area of the base, which is 1200, what we just found. The height is 80. So that was our next step, is we had to say 1200 times 80, and you got 96,000 centimeters cubed, or on your paper, that would have been letter D. So that was your answer. So it was really kind of the hardest one on the whole sheet. So then let's move on to number 4. Okay, so number 4, or let's see, did I skip 3? I think I worked it. Oh, I did get 3. Here it is. It's basically says find the volume of a triangular prism giving the features of the diagram. So here we see that we have like the hypotenuse here of our base. We also know that our height is here 6. And then here we see that this side is 8. Now we need the height. So once again, we're going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem of 17 squared minus 8 squared equals the height squared. And of course, that's going to come to be 225 equals height squared. Take your square root and you get your height of 15. Next, we find the area by saying 1/2 of the height times the base, which is 8, and we get 16 centimeters squared. And lastly, to find the volume is going to be 60, the area of the triangle, times our height, 60, and you get 360 centimeters squared cubed. Actually, I should have put cubed there, sorry. And that would have been letter B. So your answer for number 3 should have been B. So now we're going to move on to number 4. Number 4 was simple. We just had to apply Cavalieri's principle there, just saying that two solids that have the same height and the same dimensions basically. So if you'll notice, they both have a radius of 6, they both have a height of 10. So according to Cavalieri's principle, they're going to have the same volume. So your answer should have been C on this one, the same volume. Now number 5, we had to find a portion of the cylinder that is shown with a section of 270 degrees and a radius of 4 centimeters of the base, and the height of the partial cylinder is 10 centimeters. Determine the approximate volume of the solid. So the first thing we had to do is B, which is the sector area, which is going to be theta over 360 times pi r squared. So we put our section, which is 270 over 360 times pi 4 squared, because we see here that our radius is 4 and then our section here is 270 degrees. So when I work all of that out in my calculator, I got 37.7. Then we're going to take that base, which is the area, and multiply it by the height, which is 10. And I multiply those out and I got 377 centimeters cubed. And then number 6, we had to find the volume of our silo, given that here we have a diameter of 14 and a height of 30. So first I found the volume of this sphere. Now don't forget, this is only a half of a sphere, so I used my formula, which is right here on your formula sheet. Volume is equal to pi r squared h over, where are you? Right here. Volume is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. So I went to my formula sheet, but I also divided it by 2 because I'm only finding half of it, and that came out to equal 1437 divided by 2, or 718. Then we have to find the volume of our cylinder, which is right here. Volume is equal to pi r squared h. Okay, so that would be pi 7 squared 30. And that came out to equal 4,618 when I multiply that out. Then I simply just took the 2, added them together to get 5,337 feet cubed. See, now I made a mistake on this one because first in the volume of my sphere, I only squared my 7, the radius. However, don't forget in that formula, you have to cube it. So that is an important step, and if you forget it, you're going to get the wrong answer like I did, and then I had to correct it. So if you have any additional questions, please let me know.